Along the way, I've struggled with this one. And I don't think I'm alone in that. It's something I didn't know how to admit to myself or others until I'd figured it out, at least a little bit. I now think it's about trust. Specifically, building trust in yourself. How do you trust yourself to move forward into something when it seems as though you want to do it, but then for whatever reason, you don't? How do you reliably go from idea to action? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna learn to play the piano. I'm gonna travel to Japan. I think I've said some variation of this phrase about 1 trillion times. So what's the problem then? Sometimes the idea of doing something or being someone is more enticing than actually doing it. There's a difference between the enthusiasm you feel for an idea, the rush of good feelings you get when you're thinking about it, to the actual reality of doing it, which is completely understandable. The challenge really rolls in when you've done this many times and maybe you haven't really done much else. And now you don't really trust yourself in what you say. You've disconnected your words from your actions. I sometimes say, I will listen to anyone who's listening to themselves. And I think that's the first step. You really got to start listening to yourself and what you're saying. And whether you're starting a hobby, starting a new habit, anything new, it's gonna be a bit shaky. It's like balancing on a high wire. You don't show up with the wire already tied across the valley, harness set up, balancing pole, and you've been practicing. You can't really expect that when you fall, you're gonna get back up again. So what do? There are about 1 million strategies, about as many strategies as there are people. But basically, as it comes down to it, once you start listening to yourself, you're gonna have to start doing the things that you say you're gonna do. It's as simple as that, really. That's why you gotta start small. Start small. Make it as easy as possible, make it as small as possible. 5 minutes a day for a week. Set a little goal, little achievable goal. If you say it, sometimes it helps to write it down. Then after you've built some experience of doing this, you can start to build it up to some bigger things. Next point, don't put it in a case. What I mean by that is make it easy on yourself. So if it's guitar you're trying to learn, don't put it in the guitar case. Keep that guitar out somewhere that you're going to be able to grab whenever. If it's drawing, have your sketch pad on the table with a pencil, sharpener, rubber. Just have it out and accessible. Eliminate that friction, that barrier to entry of getting started. If it's running or going for walks, make sure as soon as you get home from work or school, you get changed straight into your gear and you put your runners on. Just to do that step, and 99% of the time you'll at least get out the door. See if you can get a streak going. There's a reason why apps like Duolingo and Snapchat really encourage their users to try and get a streak going of going onto their app. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in getting better at something. And if you can get that going for yourself, you're going to be way better off. Jerry Seinfeld made this one famous when he said, you've got to try and get the chain going. So he'd have a calendar up on his wall. Every day that he wrote jokes, he'd put a big X in one of the days, and he'd do it again the next day, put another big X, and try and get that chain growing longer and longer. And that was one of the keys to his success of getting better as a comedian, is trying to keep that consistency up. But basically, just get started, get it going, don't think about it too much, and just do it. You got this.